Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Aaron stepped into the dimly lit community theater, the scent of old wood and fresh paint filling the air. His brown hair, tousled from the windy walk over, caught the edge of a script page as he flipped through it. The group had just announced their next production, The Haunting of Hill House, a classic tale of psychological terror and hidden desires. Excitement buzzed among the cast, but when the director, a wiry man named Elias with a penchant for mischief, assigned roles, Aaron's name came up for a small female part, the ghostly apparition of a long-lost sister. It was meant as a joke, a light-hearted jab at Aaron's slight build and expressive face, perfect for crossing gender lines in a low-budget show where versatility was key. Laughter rippled through the room, and Aaron played along, rolling his eyes with a grin. But as the costume fittings began that afternoon, something shifted. The costume designer, an elderly woman named Miriam, with silver-streaked hair and a knowing smile, pulled out a teal vintage dress from a dusty trunk in the back room. It was elegant, with a fitted bodice and a flowing skirt that whispered against the floor. "Try this on," she said, handing it over along with a pair of low black heels and a simple pearl necklace. Aaron hesitated, but the group's encouragement pushed him forward. He slipped into a changing stall, the fabric cool against his skin. When he emerged, the dress felt strangely right, hugging his frame in a way that didn't mock, but enhanced. The teal color brought out a subtle warmth in his brown hair, which he absently tucked behind one ear. The low black heels added a slight lift to his step, and the pearl necklace rested gently against his collarbone. He caught his reflection in a nearby mirror, and for a moment, the person staring back wasn't Aaron the college student, but someone else entirely, someone named Kaye, perhaps, a name that bubbled up unbidden from the depths of his imagination. Rehearsals kicked off the next day, and Aaron dove into the role with unexpected fervor. On stage, he embodied the spectral sister, his voice softening into a haunting lilt, his gestures fluid and delicate. But it didn't stop there. Off stage, during breaks, he found himself crossing his legs at the ankles, smoothing the skirt of the teal dress with a graceful hand. "Call me Kaye while I'm in costume," he said to his castmates, half joking at first, but the name stuck, rolling off tongues with increasing ease. The director nodded approvingly, noting how it helped immersion. As days turned into weeks, the changes deepened. Kaylee's castmates began to whisper about it. Her jawline, once sharp and defined, seemed to soften under the stage lights, the angles rounding into something more delicate. Her movements grew effortlessly graceful, each step in the low black heels a poised glide rather than a clumsy shuffle. Even her brown hair appeared to frame her face differently, falling in soft waves that accentuated the transformation. "It's like the role is rewriting you," one actor, a tall woman named Lena playing the lead, remarked during a coffee break. Kaye smiled, adjusting the pearl necklace, feeling its cool beads against her skin like a talisman. Miriam, the costume designer, pulled Kaye aside one evening after a particularly intense rehearsal. The theater was quiet, shadows lengthening across the empty seats. "That dress," Miriam said, her voice low and reverent. "It belonged to an actress from decades ago. She believed clothing held transformative powers, especially for those whose bodies didn't match their souls. She wore it in her final performance and never took it off, claiming it aligned her true self." Kaye listened, fingers tracing the teal fabric, a shiver running through her. The words resonated, stirring something deep within. From that point on, Kaye couldn't imagine shedding the dress. It became her constant companion, even outside rehearsals. She wore it to the group's casual dinners, the low black heels clicking on pavement as they walked to a nearby diner. The pearl necklace stayed in place, a subtle accessory that felt essential. Her castmates adapted quickly, addressing her as Kaye without hesitation, their conversations flowing around her new mannerisms as if they'd always been there. One afternoon, during a blocking session for a pivotal scene where the ghostly sister appears in a mirror, Kaye felt a surge of emotion. Standing before the prop glass, she saw not just the costume, but a version of herself that clicked into place. Her brown hair caught the light, and her softened jawline reflected back with an authenticity that made her heart race. Elias, directing from the front row, called out adjustments, but Kaye moved instinctively, her grace drawing applause from the ensemble. As the production progressed, Kaye's immersion influenced the entire group. Lena, her scene partner, confided over lunch one day, "You're bringing something real to this. It's not just acting, it's like you're channeling the character's pain." They sat in a booth, Kaye's teal dress pooling slightly on the seat, the low black heels tucked neatly under the table. The pearl necklace gleamed under the diner's fluorescent lights. Kaye nodded, feeling the weight of the role settle deeper, her feminine mannerisms now second nature, tilting her head thoughtfully, gesturing with open palms. Nights at home blurred the lines further. Kaye would return to her small apartment, the dress still on, heels echoing in the hallway. She'd practice lines in front of her own mirror, watching her reflection evolve. Her brown hair, brushed out, framed a face that seemed less angular with each passing day. Friends from outside the theater group started noticing too, when she'd meet them for coffee, always in the teal ensemble. "It's for the play," she'd explain at first, but soon it became, "This is just me now." The transformative power Miriam had mentioned began to manifest in subtle ways. During a dress rehearsal, as Kaye glided across the stage, her castmates swore they saw a faint glow around the dress, like an aura of otherworldly energy. Whispers spread. Was it the lighting? Or something more? Elias dismissed it as theatrical superstition, but Kaye felt it, a warmth spreading from the fabric, aligning her inner self with the outer. Interactions with the group grew richer. There was Marcus, the props master, who crafted a delicate fan for Kaye's character, handing it over with a shy smile. "It suits you," he said, watching as she fanned herself gracefully, the motion accentuating her softened features. Then there was Sophie, the understudy, who shared makeup tips during downtime, helping Kaye enhance her eyes to match the haunting vibe of the role. They laughed together in the green room, Kaye's brown hair tied back loosely, the pearl necklace catching the mirror's light. As opening night approached, tension built. Kaye spent hours perfecting her entrance, the low black heels providing a rhythmic underscore to her steps. The dress's teal hue seemed to deepen, as if absorbing the energy of her transformation. Miriam watched from the wings, her eyes misty. "She was right, that old actress," she murmured to no one in particular. "It finds those who need it." The first performance was electric. The audience gasped as Kaye appeared, her graceful form ethereal under the spotlights. Her jawline, now undeniably softer, added to the illusion of a spirit unbound by time. Off stage, during intermission, she mingled with the cast, still in character, her feminine mannerisms drawing compliments. "You're incredible as Kaylee," Lena said, squeezing her arm. The name felt permanent, a badge of her new reality. Post-show, the group celebrated at a local bar, Kaylee's dress swirling as she danced lightly with friends. The low black heels didn't tire her. Instead, they empowered her steps. Strangers approached, assuming she was always this way, and she didn't correct them. The pearl necklace became a conversation starter, its simplicity belying the profound change it symbolized. But doubts crept in during quieter moments. Late one night, after a rehearsal ran long, Kaylee sat alone on the stage, legs crossed delicately, staring at the empty auditorium. Her brown hair fell forward, and she pushed it back with a manicured hand. Wait, when had she started painting her nails? The transformation was accelerating, her body responding to the dress's alleged power. Miriam's words echoed, transformative for those whose bodies didn't match their souls. Was this her truth, emerging? The next day brought a group outing to a park for team building, inspired by the play's themes of isolation and connection. Kaylee arrived in the teal dress, heels sinking slightly into the grass, pearl necklace swaying as she walked. They played improv games, her graceful movements earning laughs and admiration. Marcus paired with her for a scene, their chemistry sparking ideas for future collaborations. "You've got a natural elegance," he said, his eyes lingering on her softened jawline. As weeks unfolded, the production hit its stride with multiple shows. Kaylee's role, though small, became a highlight, reviewers noting the authenticity she brought. "The ghostly sister is portrayed with haunting grace," one article read, featuring a photo of her in the dress, brown hair styled in loose waves. She clipped it out, pinning it to her apartment wall, a reminder of her permanence. Social dynamics shifted too. Sophie invited Kaylee for a girls' night, treating her as one of their own. They shopped for accessories that complemented the teal dress. Scarves, earrings, but nothing that altered her core look. The low black heels remained her go-to, clicking through store aisles. At home, Kaylee experimented with hairstyles, her brown hair versatile in updos or braids, always framing her evolving face. Elias called a meeting to discuss extending the run, excitement palpable.
"Kaylee, your transformation has inspired us all,"
he said, using her name without question. She nodded, feeling the dress's fabric against her skin like a second layer of identity. Miriam joined, sharing more about the dress's history. The original actress had vanished after her last show, rumors swirling of her living fully as her true self somewhere far away. Inspired, Kaylee delved deeper into the character's backstory, writing journal entries as the ghostly sister. Her handwriting even changed, looping elegantly. Castmates read excerpts during breaks, moved by the depth. Lena suggested incorporating some into the script, and Elias agreed, enhancing the production. One stormy evening, as thunder rattled the theater windows, Kaylee practiced alone. The dress seemed to hum with energy, her movements more fluid than ever. She caught a glimpse in the mirror, her jawline fully softened, her posture innately graceful. Panic flickered briefly. Was this reversible? But the thought dissolved. This was her now. Irrevocably. The group faced challenges too. A prop malfunction during a matinee, fixed by Marcus's quick thinking, with Kaylee assisting gracefully. Their bond strengthened, late-night talks revealing personal stories. Sophie shared her own struggles with identity, finding solace in Kaylee's journey. "You're brave," she said, as they sat cross-legged on the stage. Kaylee's heels set aside momentarily, but the dress ever present. As the season wound down, Kaye contemplated life beyond the play. The dress had become her wardrobe staple, worn to everyday errands, drawing curious glances but also acceptance. Her brown hair, now a signature, was often complimented. The pearl necklace and low black heels completed the ensemble, symbols of her unyielding transformation. A cast party marked the final performance. Laughter filled the rented hall, Kaye at the center, dancing with abandon. Elias toasted her. To Kaye, who became the heart of our haunting. Cheers erupted, and she felt complete, the dress's power fully realized. Yet, as the night ended, Miriam approached with a mysterious envelope. The original actress left this behind. It's for the next one who the dress chooses. Kaye opened it, finding a faded letter hinting at hidden secrets within the theater, clues to a greater mystery, perhaps even the actress's fate. Her heart pounded. What if this was just the beginning? The following morning, Kaye returned to the theater, dress flowing, heels echoing. She searched the costume room, uncovering an old diary tucked in the trunk. Entries spoke of visions, of souls aligning through fabric, and a warning. Once transformed, a greater calling awaits. As she read, a door creaked open behind her, revealing a hidden passage she hadn't noticed before. Footsteps approached from the darkness, and Kaye turned, pearl necklace glinting, ready to step into whatever lay ahead. But who, or what, was coming? Weeks later, the discovery of the passage consumed Kaye's thoughts. She confided in Lena, who joined her in exploring it during off hours. The narrow corridor led to forgotten storage rooms, filled with relics from past productions, faded posters, dusty props, and trunks of vintage clothing. Kaye's teal dress brushed against them, stirring up motes of dust that danced in the faint light filtering through cracks.
This place feels alive,
Lena whispered, her voice echoing softly. Kaye nodded, her graceful hand tracing patterns on a nearby wall, feeling an inexplicable pull. They found more letters from the original actress, scattered like breadcrumbs. One detailed her belief in the dress's magic, how it had softened her features and aligned her spirit, much like Kaye's experience. It chooses those ready to embrace their truth, the letter read. Kaye's brown hair fell across her eyes as she leaned in to read, and she tucked it back with a feminine flick of her wrist. The low black heels made soft sounds on the stone floor, grounding her in this new adventure. Marcus learned of their explorations and insisted on tagging along, bringing tools to pry open locked doors. His presence added a layer of security, and Kaye appreciated his steady demeanor. Together, they uncovered a hidden stage, smaller than the main one, with remnants of sets from long-ago plays. Kaye stepped onto it, the dress's skirt swirling, and for a moment, she envisioned performing there, her softened jawline illuminated by imaginary lights. The pearl necklace felt heavier, as if laden with history. Sophie joined the group, turning their searches into a mini-adventure club. They met after rehearsals, delving deeper each time. One evening, they discovered a journal entry mentioning a ritual tied to the dress, wearing it under a full moon in the hidden stage to unlock further transformations. Kaye pondered this, her movements ever graceful as she paced the room. "Do we try it?" she asked, voice steady but eyes wide with curiosity. The full moon arrived, and the four gathered in secrecy. Kaye stood center stage in the hidden area, teal dress aglow in the moonlight streaming through a skylight. Lena, Marcus, and Sophie watched from the shadows. As midnight struck, a warmth enveloped Kaye, her brown hair shimmering as if infused with lunar energy, her features refined further, grace amplifying. But then, a low rumble echoed, the ground shifting, revealing a concealed compartment beneath the stage. Inside was a box of artifacts, more dresses, each with notes on their powers, and a map leading to other theaters rumored to hold similar secrets. Kaylee's heart raced. This was bigger than their production. "We have to follow it," she said, clutching the map, her feminine poise unbroken. Their quest led to an abandoned theater across town, its marquee faded, but still bearing the name of a play from the original actress's era. Kaye led the way, heels navigating cracked sidewalks, dress undeterred by the urban decay. Inside, cobwebs draped like curtains, and they found echoes of the same transformative lore. A portrait of the actress hung crookedly, her eyes seeming to follow Kaye, recognizing a kindred spirit. As they explored, strange occurrences began, whispers in empty rooms, shadows that moved independently. Lena suggested it was the haunting influence bleeding into reality. Kaye felt it too, her softened jawline tingling as if the changes were ongoing. They discovered a diary page warning of guardians who protected these secrets, entities tied to the clothing's magic. One night, while poring over findings in Kaylee's apartment, the dress her constant attire, pearl necklace a fixture, they heard knocking at the door. No one was there, but a note slipped under. "The dress calls you forward, but beware the price." Kaylee's group exchanged glances, the air thick with anticipation. Undaunted, they pressed on, visiting another site marked on the map, a warehouse of theatrical memorabilia. Kaylee's grace shone as she maneuvered through cluttered aisles, low black heels steady. They unearthed a recording of the original actress's voice, reciting lines that mirrored Kaylee's own experiences. "The transformation is eternal," it intoned, sending chills down her spine. Bonds deepened amid the mystery. Marcus confessed admiration for Kaylee's courage, their conversations turning personal under starlit skies. Lena shared dreams inspired by the hauntings. Sophie sketched maps of their discoveries. Kaye, at the center, felt her identity solidify, the teal dress a armor against uncertainty. Yet, as they delved deeper, signs of pursuit emerged, footsteps trailing them, anonymous messages urging them to stop. During a late-night session in the hidden stage, a figure appeared in the doorway, cloaked and silent. "You've awakened what was sleeping," it said, voice muffled. Kaye stepped forward, brown hair framing her determined face, ready to confront whatever force guarded the dress's legacy. The figure revealed itself as a descendant of the original actress, bearing tales of a society dedicated to these transformative artifacts. "Join us," she offered, extending a hand. Kaye hesitated, glancing at her friends, the pearl necklace cool against her skin. Acceptance could mean deeper changes, a life forever altered, but refusal might unleash dangers unforeseen. Torn, Kaye agreed to a meeting at an undisclosed location, the group accompanying her. They arrived at a grand, forgotten mansion, its halls lined with costumes pulsing with energy. The society welcomed them, demonstrating other items' powers, gloves that enhanced empathy, hats that sharpened wit. Kaye tried none, loyal to her dress, but watched in awe as members shared stories of lives realigned. A ritual was proposed, to fully integrate Kaye into their fold, binding her to the dress's full potential. As preparations began, doubts surfaced. Marcus pulled her aside.
Is this what you want?
Kaylee's graceful hand touched his arm, her softened features thoughtful. The night of the ritual arrived, candles flickering in the mansion's ballroom. Kaye stood in the center, teal dress resplendent, low black heels planted firmly. Chants rose, energy building. But midway, a betrayal unfolded. One society member, envious, attempted to seize the dress's power for themselves. Chaos erupted, shadows twisting unnaturally. In the melee, Kaylee's group fought back, her grace turning to agile defense. They escaped with the society's archives, but the envious member pursued, vowing to claim what was rightfully theirs. Hiding in the night, map in hand, Kaye whispered, "This isn't over." As dawn broke, a new clue emerged from the archives, a location holding the ultimate secret of the transformations, but guarded by forces beyond imagination. With determination in her eyes, Kaye led them onward, the dress's magic humming, promising revelations yet to come. Their journey took them to a coastal town where an old lighthouse doubled as a repository for theatrical relics. Kaylee's heels clicked on the wooden pier, wind tugging at her teal skirt. The lighthouse keeper, an elderly man with knowledge of the society, granted entry after recognizing the dress. Inside, spiral stairs led to chambers filled with journals detailing centuries of transformations. Kaye pored over them, brown hair tied back to keep it from the pages. Entries spoke of individuals like her, drawn into a web of magic that reshaped lives. One passage warned of a shadow self that could emerge if the transformation was challenged, a darker aspect manifesting in times of stress. That night, as storms raged outside, Kaye experienced visions, glimpses of the original actress's life, her joys and sorrows woven into the fabric. The pearl necklace warmed, syncing with her heartbeat. Lena, ever supportive, stayed up discussing implications, their friendship an anchor. Marcus found a hidden compartment in the lighthouse, revealing artifacts that complemented the dress, a veil that heightened intuition. Kaye donned it briefly, feeling perceptions sharpen, but removed it, committed to her core change. Word of their escape reached the society, and allies emerged, former members disillusioned by internal politics. One, a woman named Alara, joined their group, sharing insider knowledge. The envious one, Victor, seeks to monopolize the power. She explained over a campfire on the beach, Kaylee's dress billowing in the breeze. They planned a counter-strategy, using the map to anticipate Victor's moves. Sophie scouted ahead, her sketches proving invaluable. Kaylee's leadership grew, her softened jawline and graceful demeanor inspiring confidence. A confrontation loomed at a ruined amphitheater in the hills. Arriving under cover of dusk, Kaylee's group set traps using theatrical props, smoke machines for diversion, mirrors for illusion. Victor appeared with followers, demanding the dress.
"It was never yours,"
he snarled. The clash was a blend of drama and reality. Kaye dodged attacks with elegant spins, her low black heels aiding swift movements. Lena and Marcus flanked, Sophie and Alara providing support. In the fray, Victor grabbed at the teal fabric, but a surge of energy repelled him, the dress protecting its wearer. Victorious but weary, they claimed Victor's notes, revealing a network of similar items worldwide. Kaye realized her transformation was part of a larger tapestry, destinies intertwined. As they regrouped, a new message arrived. an invitation from a distant chapter, hinting at alliances or threats. Embracing the unknown, Kaye led them toward the next marker, the pearl necklace a beacon. But as they traveled, she sensed the shadow self stirring within, a whisper of doubt or power unchecked. What if it overtook her? The road ahead promised answers, but at what cost? Venturing into forested paths, the group encountered guardians, ethereal figures tied to the magic, testing their resolve. Kaye faced one alone, her feminine poise unwavering as she answered riddles about identity and change. Passing the test unlocked a cache of lore, deepening her understanding. Bonds evolved. Marcus and Kaye shared quiet moments, his hand brushing hers, a spark of connection blooming. Lena confided ambitions to start her own theater, inspired by Kaye. Sophie documented their saga, dreaming of a book. Yet Victor's influence lingered, sabotage attempts forcing detours. In a mountain cabin hideout, they deciphered codes from the archives, uncovering a ritual to seal the dress's power permanently, preventing misuse. Preparing for it required gathering rare elements, moonlit herbs, vintage threads. Kaye's grace aided in delicate tasks, her brown hair catching firelight as she wove components. The ritual site was a sacred grove, ancient trees forming a natural stage. As they began, Victor ambushed, his forces overwhelming. Kaye channeled the dress's energy, her movements a dance of defiance, softened features alight with determination. In the climax, she completed the incantation, binding the power to benevolent users. Victor fled, defeated, but not before vowing revenge. The group celebrated, but Kaye felt a new pull, a vision of uncharted territories, where more transformations awaited discovery. As they set out again, a mysterious fog rolled in, separating Kaye from the others. Alone in the mist, she heard a voice calling her name, not Aaron's, but Kaye's, promising revelations about her ultimate destiny. Stepping forward, dress trailing, she wondered if this was the true haunting beginning. Hope you enjoyed the story so far. The rest will be available on Patreon.